everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to do the end of February wrap-up. Something happened to the footage last time, so we're just doing this again. So let's get started. The first book I want to talk to you about today is In an Absent Dream by Shauna McGuire. This is the fourth book in the Weirwood Children series. However, this is technically a prequel as it follows Lundy. And it's a goblin market kind of story. I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I really loved Lundy's story. However, the ending just absolutely broke my heart because you kind of knew where it was going as it was going. You kind of knew where it was headed because it was a prequel story. I do have a feeling that because how the story series is going, it's been prequel, sequel, prequel, sequel, that the next book in the series is going to be another sequel. So I'm super excited to continue on, and I love how short this series has been. And so I'm looking forward to the next one. The next book I'm going to talk to you about is the last book in the Naked Werewolf series by Molly Harper. I talked to you about the first 2 books in the series in the first part of my February wrap-up. The last one is How to Run with a Naked Werewolf. This follows the doctor of the town, and she basically is on the run from her estranged ex-husband and flees the town, and she runs into this guy and basically realizes he's a werewolf, and they go you know, out, and basically kind of start falling for each other. It's super cute. 4 stars. There's just something about the series that just kept me from giving it a full 5 stars. But I ended up really enjoying it, and there's even a cameo of a different character from a different Molly Harper series at the end, so I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Next, I read Aint She a Peach, which is the second book in the Southern Electric series, also by Molly Harper. I've continued on reading my Molly Harper books. This one follows Frankie, who is the mortician for the family, and she is interested in the new sheriff in town, but they had a one-night stand, and I ended up giving this book 5 stars. There's something about Frankie that just makes her so relatable, and she's possibly one of my favorite McCready's, and I just really enjoyed her, and I gave this one 5 stars. I read The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Corey. This is an Aladdin retelling where the genie is a woman. I ended up giving this book 3 stars. I was expecting some kind of like romance, and I don't know what, somebody kind of made me think that was a romantic retelling with Genie and Aladdin getting together, and don't go in thinking that. And I think I had the wrong expectations going in, and I listened to it on audio, and the narrator was not the best for it, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. So I won't be continuing on in the series. Next, me and my partner finally finished The Goblet of Fire, the 4th book in the Harry Potter series. I obviously gave it 5 stars. Goblet of Fire is my favorite Harry Potter book. It is the one where Harry gets introduced to the wizarding world at large. You get introduced to so many characters. It's the one where the series kind of starts taking a darker turn. I think at some point I'm going to make a video about why Harry Potter and The Goblet of Fire is my favorite Harry Potter book, but obviously as of right now I'm just gonna say that I gave it a glowing 5 stars. I read an e-arc of What We Buried by Kate A. Borman. This has since been released. I received an e-arc of this through NetGalley. This follows a sibling duo who have basically resented each other for quite some time. Basically been, you know, really privileged. She was on TV, and the brother has basically not, and he's basically been under the parents' thumb, and has been, the sister was trying to get away from the parents and was trying to become emancipated, and then the parents don't show up for court. So she's trying to figure out what happens to the parents. I ended up giving this book 3 stars. It's a twisted ride, and it's got dual timelines, and you don't know really what's going on even at the end. I'm not 100% sure, and I ended up giving this 3 stars because you're not sure what's really going on at the end. And if it had a clearer ending, this might have gotten it 4 stars from me, but because it was such an unclear ending, and I'm not sure if one of my thoughts on the ending was true, it could have been lower, but if it wasn't true, it could have been higher, if that makes any sense. So I ended up giving this book 3 stars. Next, I read A Few Pecans Short of a Pie. This is follows the characters of the first book of the Southern Electric series. This basically is the 2.5, following the characters from the first book and introducing the characters of the third book to each other. And it was just a cute little 0.5, not really much to say. It was just a cute little fun time. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I read Sky in the Deep by Andrea Young. I buddy read this with Emily. I will leave her linked in the down bar below. We got paired up during Be Lit Valentine's, and we decided Wonder Woman and Vikings were a perfect combo. Unfortunately, we both didn't super love this because it ended up being more romance and not really Vikings than we were anticipating. We both thought that this was more focusing on romance and it was not really good on the fighting part, and we both ended up giving it 3 stars. And if we had known it was super romance heavy, we realized the brother wasn't really named in the synopsis, we probably would not have picked it up originally. You live and you learn. I gave it this one 3 stars. I picked up Baby Teeth, like I've mentioned before. I've been slowly going through my old e-arcs on NetGalley, and I read that this month. It's obviously since been released. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. This one was a really tough one. The child is really creepy and you really feel for the mother. However, by the end of the story, you're left wondering what was the point. It's really a snapshot into their life, but you don't think anything really is resolved by the end. So I ended up giving this book 3 stars. Next, I read Overnight Sensation, which is book 5 in the Brooklyn Bruiser series by Serena Bowman. This is one of my favorite hockey romance series. Unfortunately, I didn't super love this one so much. I think it's possibly because there was a time jump at the end of book 4 and I didn't super love the one of the characters in this pairing, but I ended up giving this one 3 stars, which is the lowest that I've rated one of the pairings in this one, but I do still super love this series, so I probably will pick up the next one if another one comes out. This is a hockey romance series following players on this hockey team called, you probably guessed it, the Brooklyn Bruisers. I read Bourne Darkly by Tristina Wolfe. This is basically kind of like a Joker Harley Quinn story. It's a very slow start, but it ends up being kind of suspenseful. I'm not super sold on this kind of pairing, though I do think it's kind of done a little bit better than the Joker and Harley Quinn is. Obviously that is a very toxic thing, but we're not here to talk about how toxic that is. But I overall gave this 3 stars. What I want to talk about is Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glenn Marsh. This book follows a bisexual necromancer, which is like my favorite thing in the world. This book is definitely not for everyone. It has a very rocky start and has quite a few bumps along the way, which is why I ended up giving it 4 stars. However, the rocky start is for a purpose, and that I can't explain it because it involves a giant spoiler. However, I want to say just trust me, and once you get to it, it'll make sense. But also, spoilers. So, you know. The book I read this month, which is Fire Song by Adam Garnett's Song. This I also received through NetGalley in exchange for an honest review. I ended up giving this book 3. The premise honestly was pretty gripping. It involves a boy whose sister has died by suicide, and he is basically, you know, trying to recover from such a great loss. However, the writing in this is just kind of left me with something to be desired, but honestly I would pick it up if it sounds interesting to you. It's just the writing was something that left me being desired. Have you read any of these books? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like what you saw here today, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a nice day.